Oh my god, there was a hair in my cheese.
Oh, that is a wonderful opener, man. Hello, adventure. Wrong hand. Hold on, one sec. Give me this. Give, give me this hand. Oh, come on, you stupid thing. Whatever. Hello, adventure. Fuck. All right. Well, whatever. No hands today. How's it going, adventurers? Shit's breaking. There's hair and cheese, and yeah, apparently we have a muscle wizard to design, thanks to MCI in the previous previous Mega Dungeon stream. So Long has had a few ideas since the last stream. He really wanted to add it to the campaign, and my general rule was if he could think up some way to tie it to the story of the campaign and make it make sense, we could do it. That's usually how I do any kind of player character. So yeah, he really knocked the ball out of the park with this one. Care to explain, Long?
I don't think I can. I mean, how does like an eyelash get into a completely sealed package of string cheese? Like it was in the cheese. How do you even?
Not that one.
Oh. Um. So the idea I had just spontaneously was, what if, much like some of the biggest players in our current campaign on the evil side are avatars of darkness. What if we had an avatar of light? We have one player who is going to be connected to the light and does want to restore the light, not fully understanding what they're actually trying to do, but still. However, what if there was one that was actually touched by the light, like these two large, powerful enemies are? An avatar of the light.
So what you're
And
saying is you're making a guardian.
if you want to call it that. I was thinking more like he's the really derpy version of like Dark Side.
Who?
Irrelevant. The point
Okay.
being that the light was overtaken by darkness a long time ago, if I'm remembering correctly, and the ebb and flow of the darkness was halted because of Audley's interference. So this entire time, the light hasn't been able to regain its power. It has been snuffed out, and there's no light, nor is there darkness at the moment. My idea was that the darkness has avatars. It is omnipresent no matter how much shenanigans we pull. Its influence is just being extremely limited. But that doesn't mean it's gone. There must be the same situation with the light. It must have some pull. It must have some kind of power. And it still has to exist somewhere. Well, with the dark being sealed away, that's supposed to seal away the light too. So I was thinking, if the darkness has an avatar out there to still influence the world, then there must still be light influencing the world too. Otherwise, these integral parts of the fabric of the universe, if they were truly missing, then everything would go into chaos. And while it partially has, everything still exists, so there has to be some kind of structure still. So what if the structure is coming from the avatars, the little bits of power that are still out there? Being myself, Oddly, who's admittedly trapped in the crystal and probably not much of an influence right now, but, you know, but there has to be an avatar of light. But what if it was the muscle wizard? What if the reason he is so powerful, but so stupid, the reason sometimes his magic actually works, and nobody has an explanation for it? What if it's not magic? He mimics the effects of magic through brute force, but sometimes that isn't what we're seeing. Sometimes the spells would actually work. And what if it wasn't magic, but him simply altering the laws of the universe? Because he is the Avatar of Light. He is the small
I don't know
amount.
why, and I didn't get this last time, but I just had don't make my hand raise. I just had very strong Haruhi vibes from that description. Do you know who that is? No, you don't.
Yes and no.
Oh, okay.
My brain is drawing a blank. All I'm thinking is the color purple.
The color purple could not be. I think that's the only color she didn't wear, actually. Yeah. Anyway, basically, she doesn't know she's a god and just on a whim changes how the universe works. Because she's bored. But she
Yeah.
doesn't realize she's doing it. She just thinks the world works that way, and so now it does.
Yes.
Yes.
So the idea is that the reason that he's like this is because the Avatar of Light is showing how desperate the light is. It has been trying to regain the balance this entire time, but has been snuffed out along with the darkness and just can't do anything in its extremely weakened state. It's been applying a little bit of influence at a time, and that's what's been keeping the entire reality that we know from falling apart. And I was thinking his derpiness, his power, it's showing that the Avatar of Light is something that can be destroyed, theoretically, just like us. Although Long is kind of in a weird position because he's specifically stolen the omnipresent trait, so every time he dies, he's still kind of there.
Real quick, would the light have decided specifically this muscle wizard because he is so stupid that he wouldn't realize that he has special powers?
No, he was born like this. The reason he's like this is because he was created by the light.
So he's a guardian.
Kinda, sorta. They are resurrected and given powers with memories wiped. This dude was born as a part of the light, with that part of his consciousness completely locked away. He has no idea that he is a puppet of the light. I mean, we could even say that it's not even a person, but just literally light given form. Like, I don't see this guy as, hey, I was a person who was given powers. I think the universe created him. Specifically for this.
Okay. It's an interesting idea. I kind of like it.
And like the reason that he's so powerful but so derpy is because the avatars can be destroyed and their power lost along with it. And the light is in such a weak state that it cannot afford to lose this avatar. It would just take so long to make a new one. That's why the darkness could overtake beings, because it's in its waxing phase. It is still in the strongest part of its phase in the balance, and is able to just simply overtake things. It's so powerful right now that it's overtaking everything, or at least it was before it got sealed away.
Yeah.
So that meant that the light was at its absolute weakest. It's not strong enough to overtake a being anymore. So it had to create its own, slowly but surely. Created as an infant, and it raised it, slowly feeding more power into it. But what it doesn't need, because it is a part of the universe, it has been altering fate ever so slightly in its favor in order to give this being the optimal living conditions that it needs to survive. People around it that care about him, stuff like that. And while doing that, and having people that can help him, it understood that because of those people that are caring for him, it can completely forego this creature's intelligence and just make him as physically powerful as possible to make sure that this avatar doesn't get destroyed, to make sure that it never gets undone. And if this creature ever reaches optimum strength, maximum strength, which I think is where we're going to have him come in, then it can slowly start fixing the mind, creating something smart enough to start working for it. And that was the idea behind him wanting to go to the castle. Because just like the original idea behind the pixie that we kind of foregoed a long time ago, he wants to set the darkness free. Because setting the darkness free resets the balance and will give the light its power back. He doesn't know that, but he is drawn towards it just like the adventurers. And so he will eventually want to go in there. He'll want to start interacting with the castle because he will just simply be intrigued. He's not smart enough to understand that he's being manipulated from his very core. Because sadly, he doesn't really have a will of his own. He just kind of doesn't. He is the light.
Which makes sense. I mean, as much as that could make sense. So why is he in the cult?
To bring the castle here. The light wasn't strong enough to go into that world, but the light knew where it was, knew about the kid, Long's kid, and followed him. Followed him to whatever world that he went to, followed the different multiverse versions until he found one that was desperate to find the castle. When that version of the kid found a world line to stay on and to start finding a way to bring himself back, that was the world that this guy was born into, so that the light could eventually interact with it. But by the time the muscle wizard was, oh, by the way, give me just a second. What? I came up with a name from him.
I've been naming him Small, or not Small, but Short, because your name is long.
I had the perfect name. Let's see.
Where did you keep it? What was the topic?
See, that's the thing. I knew I wanted to take the name from another character. But I never actually knew the name. The full name, at least.
Oh. Okay. Smudge detected. Really? Oh, hi. There is actually a smudge.
There it is.
What the fuck? This thing is really sensitive. I like it. Are you gonna grab the right hand? Oh, God. Ah!
Don't choke yourself out.
And then you're gonna grab this hand. And then you're gonna grab this hand? No. This
Okay,
one.
let's see. Control F.
Alright, well, it works a little bit better. I got the ability to wave. Eh, it's so cool. And poke myself. Alright, so what were you saying the name was?
It looks like they did not give them last names. However,
Oh,
the characters were
my
given
God.
middle names, so we can use that as his last name. So his name is Edward Horace. You can call him Ed.
Horace Slug. No, I'm kidding. Edward Horace. Okay.
Yep. He is the big Ed from Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
What?
From Ed and Eddie. He's the big Ed.
Is that? Never mind. I don't care.
Yeah, we can just call him Ed, since that's what Ed went by. But yeah, I thought about it, and Ed does the same thing. He uses Toon Force a lot in the show, and he's extremely powerful. Like, they literally build a boat next to a river, and they're like, okay, let's put the boat in the river. And he's like, got it. And then he puts everyone in the boat. He gets in the boat, and then he grabs the side of the river, lifts up the boat, and then pulls the side of the river over, so that way there's an eddy that forms underneath them, and he just sets the boat back down. Like, he literally used Move Earth. So I like the idea of using Ed as a reference point for just how powerful this guy is. You can only beat him if your name is Ralph. Ralph works out, man. It's terrifying.
Isn't Ralph the name of the wooden board?
No, that's Plank.
I don't remember.
Ralph
I watched,
is
like,
the one.
2 episodes of that
Ralph was
thing.
the farmer.
Oh, okay. I don't remember a farmer. Whatever. I don't care.
But yeah, so his name is Ed, and so yeah, he's extremely.
His name is Ed.
He's extremely derpy.
2
but
Ds, 1 D,
1
3
D.
Ds,
No. It's
2 Ds,
ED.
and, 2 E's and 1 D.
It's a singular D.
A singular D.
I hate you.
Okay.
Fix it.
It is fixed.
No, Ed is ED, not ED.
Phone. No, I'm kidding.
Phone home.
Okay, so Light made Ed join the cult and bring the castle to the material plane. The castle needs to be in the material plane so darkness and light can return to balance.
Yeah, so he grows up, gains immense power, is finally strong enough that the light knows that there's nothing other than the darkness that can really take this guy out. So he no longer feels threatened, or the light no longer feels threatened about Ed's life, so starts to develop his mind. And the first thing it does is influence him to go to start trying to puppeteer Ed in order to get this whole show on the road.
I want to say he realizes his power, but I don't think he's smart enough to do that.
We can have him realize his power later at the higher levels. As I said, now that his body is good, it needs to. The mind is going to start advancing. So as the players gain levels, I intend on eventually giving him more intelligence and making him smarter.
That's cool. That's a good idea, actually. So Ed grows up
and is compelled to go to the area that this village is in, because the cult is there. The light knows the cult is there, because it's been paying attention to Long's kid. So he goes there and he tries to join. They try to tell him no. They try to get him to leave because it's Long's kid is long gone, and because he had to grow up to become an adult. This has been 20, 30 years, probably closer to 30 to 40, because he's physically just so superb that you would have to take that time to build your body. Even with the light, it would have to happen slowly over time.
Well, I
So
mean,
this
it took Midoriya how long? 2 months?
Hey, that's because he ate hair, okay?
I mean, fair. That's fair.
And that was only making him strong enough to move a fridge, which is impressive, but still.
I mean, I can move a fridge
On a beach, you can just drag a fridge.
No, you had the right hand. What the fuck?
Anyway,
I need to calibrate this thing more.
so he goes there to join. They are surprised he was able to find them, but don't see him as a threat. He's just a lovable idiot. They don't know what to do with him, but they don't want him to join either. But he just doesn't get it. He keeps coming back because he is so compelled to do so, and he doesn't quite understand that, but he knows he wants to be there. So eventually they just start using him as a pack mule, just to start having him do things because he's so freaking strong.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello. I don't recognize your name.
Darwining, how's it going?
What's up?
Hello. I agree, I don't recognize your name. Welcome to the stream. We are making a really stupid wizard that isn't actually a wizard.
Yes. So, the short story, I'm a lizard.
And I'm an elf.
And
Come on.
we're both idiots.
The one time I want it to be my other hand.
Yeah, does it work
Whatever.
like using it a bunch will help calibrate it kind of thing?
Yeah, I also think I need to flip it over, but whatever. The Fool's Wizard. I mean, kind of, but...
The joke is that he's just so buff and powerful that he can just replicate the effect of the spells through sheer brute force.
And then there's this little asterisk that says anything that he can't do physically just simply happens because the rules of the universe change when he wants to do it. Crone Berserker from Warhammer. I am not familiar at all with Warhammer. How does
But
that
now
work?
I'm kind of curious.
I know, right?
But yeah, so so Long's kid is gone, so he can't talk directly to him, and the light can't use that. But he just is too, like, they can't get him to leave. He's too persistent, and they see him as being of use, so they just kind of have him start running it. Yeah, exactly. Just start running
Yeah.
errands, and they just see him being super useful. So he just kind of becomes the errand boy of the group.
The blood god and hate magic, but all of his followers scream and punch things angrily until not magic happens.
I like
mean, this is same idea, just flip the anger.
That'll probably be what happened, because we are going to give him barbarian
Right.
stats. He's probably going to have a rage.
Mhm.
So that'll probably be what happens if he rages. If you ever actually upset him and he snaps, just like his namesake, if there's a pebble in his shoe, he is going to snap you out of existence, like in half.
Above that could naturally happen. So probably something like
I think the highest any stat can get is 30 using magic
so.
and bonuses and all that. I say we buff everything to 40.
I was gonna
When he
say
goes in
35, but yeah, that works too.
just make him
35.
ridiculous.
35, 40, something like that.
But that's a 4, by the way.
But you didn't see anything. You're in your own writing conundrum.
Well, what you got?
I would ask, but
I just did.
I'm not good at
Boom.
concluding conundrums.
No, I'm not either, but now I'm curious.
Where else to go for help than D&D streams? I mean, that is a fair point. And actually, I am reminded that is why I started streaming this. So, yeah, bring on the conundrum.
I will warn you, I have lizard brain. My problem-solving skills are about as good as his speech skills, so, you know.
I mean, I did not grow up on English, so that's my excuse.
Your character, no. You, on the other hand, should be able to speak it.
So he's so persistent, the cults eventually start sending him on errands.
Yeah, I think the eventually...
This is where the party finds him.
Well, no, the cart's all... I think the light that...
Returning from an errand. No.
Yes, he could still be doing errands for the frozen cultists, because he wasn't there when they got frozen, and he just got back.
And they probably don't... Calm down, Hand. They probably don't treat him very well, so...
You trying to punch me? Come on, man.
I mean, maybe. But, so they probably don't treat him very well, which means that I can see...
over here and what are you gonna do now? Eh?
I mean, I could, but... So it means that they're probably not going to treat him very well. And because of that, I can see most of them just simply giving him the cold shoulder. Quite literally in this case, because they're all frozen. So, I mean, he could just think, this wasn't enough. I'll go get more stuff. There could just be a pile of the stuff the previous errand they sent him on was for.
Oh, like he doesn't even understand that they're frozen solid now?
Yes.
I'm okay with this. I'm covering chat. Hold on. Okay.
This is where the party finds him. Continuing
there,
to
now I'm not in punching
deliver.
Range. I'm not covering chat.
Errand items. You wrote yourself into a corner. I hate when I do that. You have two characters who are supposed to meet, but the way you wrote it makes it so they would meet unnaturally or unless you force it, which is why you need some kind of event that could events. In what way are they restricted from meeting each other naturally?
Yeah. But yeah, so I think perhaps him interfering with one of the rituals is why the castle showed up. They weren't able to complete anything before. They've always been trying, but I think he showed up during one of them and decided to try and help, and they thought what he was doing was ruining it, and then suddenly, bam, earthquake, there's a castle now.
Tried to summon...
Guy's gonna lead a rebellion in a city, while the other guy is just moving into their settlement where they previously were.
Lead a rebellion into a city, so... He's where they previously were. That makes it kinda hard.
So he's leading. So one guy is leaving a town, and the other guy is just moving in.
Maybe he's gathering supplies from another town, and they just... Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. You move them in as they're leaving. He's gathering supplies from another town, and just kind of runs into the army leaving leaving the gates.
Yeah, if you're going to lead a rebellion, if you haven't already gotten to the part where it starts to build up, because normally that requires rallies and such to get the people together and to get them on the same page. If you haven't
Different
gotten
settlements
to
depending
that,
on seasons. Okay.
okay, depending on if you've done the whole preparing the rebellion, if you haven't done that yet, that's a perfect time for him to show up, because he just kind of goes into a town and it's just like, the hell is going on over here? There's just parades and announcements and gatherings everywhere, and it's the other guy preparing the rebellion. So that would be a perfect time for him to show up. Ah,
Interfere
he already did.
to make it work. He's leading a regiment of prison soldiers.
So the gathering has already happened and they're in the final stages. Okay.
Does it have to be a meeting now, or can you wait like a week? I mean, you could go the same route as Ed, the wizard we're making, and be like, maybe he doesn't realize that they're raiding that town, and he just kind of goes over to gather supplies, like buy some bread or something, something that doesn't exist in the first town.
Well, he said that he was moving into the current settlement. And the other guy is about to leave, it sounds like.
Are leaders of some sort, so they just have other people do it. I see.
I mean, as weird as it is, what's the guy who's not leading a rebellion the leader of? It could be they meet through exchange of the people who are underneath them.
True. A large desert tribe. So one leads an army, one leads mercenaries? Or am I thinking tribe in a different way than you are? Because plurals are important. Longs get mad.
Oh, everyone gets
Shadow
frozen.
Freeze.
But because he can't be corrupted by darkness, because he's already corrupted by, or because he's a being of light, he immediately, or he doesn't get taken over, plus the damage isn't enough to kill him in the first place. Plus, he just breaks out of the ice a few minutes later because he's just too strong. So he just thinks everyone else is just kind of sitting in the ice because they don't want to talk to him, because he doesn't get that he's too strong.
You think you figured it out? That's good. I'm curious. How are you gonna do it? Ed just kind of thaws immediately from the light inside him.
Glad to be of help.
Yeah, no problem at all. Everyone else unfreezes in 6 months' time.
I like it.
They'll move in as they're leaving, brief skirmish before retreating. That makes sense. I like it. So you got 2 large groups of people that need to meet? Okay.
Some light cavalry.
Why is
scouts.
there music
Yeah.
in this background? Or why is there voices in this background music? Hold on. Next. Why is there music in this music? I don't get it.
I didn't hear that because I have it turned off. that was a little trippy. It's just like you freaking out all of a sudden. hearing voices, man. You need to calm yourself.
It's fine. It's just the light. It's you trying to talk to me.
No, you're used to that one.
Ah, shit. You got a point on that. I don't know.
Oh, hey, you updated the following thing.
Yes, I did.
Neat.
So yeah, thanks for the follow, Darwining. Glad to be of help. And
Hey, that reminds
yeah,
me.
enjoy. We have in reminds you what? I forgot. You're up here now.
Hello.
Yay! You joined the adventure. You've been part of the adventure. So everyone else unfreezes in 6 months' time, which happens to be right when our players are walking through day 5, area 5. Convenient timing, right? Our adventure is really long and really complicated. We have this mega dungeon that we're working on. We have done a little bit of work on it. All of the, let's hide exits. Let's hide significant features too. All of the area you see filled in here.
Slip and slide.
Yes. So this is the lower level, this is the main floor, and then down here is going to be level 2 and level 3. We have this castle that personally we've been using it as our, I guess the best way to describe it would be the content vault, like Destiny is going to push out soon.
Yeah, it's a character cache.
Yeah.
Every character that we liked and wanted to keep, because all of our campaigns ended early because people just stopped playing, but we didn't want to lose our characters and just kind of leave them alone. We kept imagining what would they do in the future. So we created a town of adventures that's in every campaign we ever do. And when we want to save a character and we stop playing and we're like, okay, well, that's what this is what this guy is going to go do in the future. Like me, for example, the Lizard Long is my favorite character that I've ever made. He was a person, drank a permanent polymorph potion, so the sorcerer turned into a lizard and was stuck like that. Adventured, did a bunch of stuff, eventually settled down after he hit level 20, and kind of just became extremely powerful, but didn't really care. Just kind of wanted to settle down and make a restaurant with his family. So he lives in that town. All of our characters do something else along those lines, where they just kind of...
You completely forgot the most important part about our mega dungeon, though. This whole story revolves around you. You remember that, right?
Well, I mean, it does now, because we wrote me into it really hardcore.
So, one of the things that Long got as a character in one of our first campaigns was a set of goggles that allowed him to steal certain abilities from monsters.
Which is why I'm currently on the ceiling. I have spider climb.
He also has telepathy, which is why you can hear him. But he kind of stole the ability to multiverse from the literal darkness itself, like everything.
Yeah, like the feature of yin and yang, those are real physical things in our campaigns. And we fought the darkness, we fought yang. Well, eventually we would have, but we didn't finish that campaign. But we still had the whole fight set up and whatnot. So we decided to use that story as a starting point and continue forward. One of the ways we beat a force of nature was to steal its ability to be everywhere, so we could trap it in one place. And I kind of succeed on taking it because the literal gods deemed it necessary and gave me enough power to do so.
I think I leaked linked. Let me check real quick, make sure it's still there. Should be down in the description, come on, hands, right down there. Thing that says Mega Dungeon Design, the Google Docs document. That gives a much more detailed description of the whole story behind the Mega Dungeon. Yeah. As for my character, Asa, she's literally just a drow wood elf mix that found a time gauntlet, and that's how she gained access to Audley's realm. She wasn't even a very big player in the story.
But yeah, the whole idea was very important people with very powerful one-of-a-kind relics were being gathered together by somebody who knew what he was doing, for the most part at least.
Or thought he did.
And was trying to get something to fight the darkness. And yeah, we kind of succeeded, but everything still exists because there's a balance, and the darkness can't actually fully be destroyed. We just contained a part of it and limited its influence, which has turned all of existence into boring, monotone nothingness, because the building block, the foundation of creation has been limited.
Yeah, this room right here, specifically this one, this is where the darkness is currently located. All of it, in its entire integrity.
Except
everything from every single multiverse, it's just locked in this little 70 by 70 square area.
Except for the extremely small, infinitesimal portion that I was corrupted by when I tried to overtake its mind, because it doesn't really have one.
Right.
But I succeeded enough to not go insane. So there's that.
That is by far the most important part. You made a Revenant Kaiser. I'm not familiar.
Reverend
Kaiser.
Sounds like fun.
You knew
Revenant.
Thing
Oh,
here.
so you didn't mean Revenant. Alright.
Revenant Kaiser.
There you go.
All right. Well,
that's what it is.
I mean,
it's Mordecai's.
I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
I like it.
But yeah, so
like the ghost. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But
sounds pretty interesting.
So the whole point of this campaign is the castle in which was in the center of this city.
Mm-hmm.
Is that location, the entire town was destroyed in the fight. All that's left is the castle, and it kind of existed out of space-time. It was sealed away entirely, and my character has been living there for eons, keeping it that way while slowly going insane. And because
these damn cultists just up and come and kind of just fuck everything up.
Yeah, the power source that we had another one of our players make for the castle was in disrepair. He's dead, and he's the only person who could fix it. So it's been slowly decaying, and the shield protecting this thing, keeping it hidden in the veil, has been slowly weakening. These cultists, thanks to my kid, who escaped the fight and left before the fight and merely wants to return home but can't, created a cult in order to try and go back there. It
didn't quite work.
Yeah, and after he left, the cult kind of skewed their ideals and didn't fully transfer the information he gave correctly. So now they want to summon the town because they think it's a Valhalla of sorts. And they actually succeed due to the muscle wizard. Sup, Nightwing?
How's it going, Nightwing?
And yeah, the Muscle Wizard is an avatar of the light we came up with. So that's why the
Just wanted to say
town
hi.
finally
Well,
showed
hi
up.
back.
Hello. I'm on the ceiling. Because his arms keep freaking out. And I don't want to get punched. But yeah. So because the Muscle Wizard is an avatar of light, much like how I am now an avatar of darkness, his interference was able to summon the town, magnetically drawing the darkness to his location. And yeah, suddenly it just popped into reality and fused with the side of a mountain. And the nearby village knows about this because
I mean, there was a big
earthquakes
loud
and
crack.
whatnot. So yeah, they have adventures going and go take a look at the castle and see what's up, and that's our adventuring party. Me and him are duo DMing the entire campaign, and we have a list of players.
What are we doing? We are detailing the muscle wizard that the muscle wizard that MCI had the idea for from our previous stream. Long liked it so much that he found a really good way to tie it into the campaign. Everything makes way too much sense.
Yeah, it's like the universe planned it like this all along.
Is that a joke about how you're the universe?
No, I was actually talking about the joke how the light brought this dude here and has been slowly manipulating fate in order to fix everything. It's manipulating our universe too.
Well,
after all, the story must be
yeah.
told for it to have happened, since D&D only exists in our stories.
Exactly. Okay, so the castle suddenly shows up. Longs get mad. He is a lizard, so I mean, well, that's fair. That's very fair.
I am a lizard and a man and a dragon.
He breathes shadow ice breath, whatever we want to actually make it.
It's shadow ice. It's a shadow dragon, but it's a silver dragon, so
you can't go anywhere without seeing a lizard. I am slightly concerned. Are you hallucinating?
hold on. I can fix it.
Do not fit. Okay.
I wasn't going to.
No, you weren't.
I was hovering that button, I'm not gonna lie.
I know I clicked. Anyway, so...
And I'm gone.
Shadow freezes everyone, and Ed, because he's filled with light, just kind of thaws immediately and doesn't get taken over by the shadow breath. There's lizards everywhere you go where you live. That actually sounds pretty cool. Where do you live?
My family.
Everyone else is still just frozen, and Ed kind of just thinks they're purposely being dicks to him, and he just kind of keeps doing the errands that he was told to do, and doesn't really mind. Mississippi.
I didn't realize that Mississippi was infested with lizards. Now I'm kind of curious.
I want to go there now. That sounds like fun. Maybe we can actually take some decent pictures for a lizard.
Yeah. I'm still happy you found this one. This one's turned out pretty good.
I know, right? So do we actually want him delivering errands, or should he be doing something else? To put simply.
I'm not entirely sure. Like,
right,
I
we'll
like the
as
idea of him just being so derp that he still doesn't get what's going on and is just listening to the last orders he was given because they finally let him stay like he wanted. But at the same time, what is he doing and why?
Right. Well, I mean, if we are gonna run this path, we could. The cultists need a source of food, so that's a main delivery.
So are you certain it's not like a watch lizard, like a security lizard?
You're half joking. Every time you visit your family, there is a lizard somewhere near the front door or on the door frame.
Security lizard.
That sounds like a monitor lizard to me. It just monitors the house.
I am a monitor lizard, and I. What's the phrase?
I don't know.
And I condone this message or something like that. I can't remember what they used to use. And I approve this message.
There you go. That's what it is.
Thanks.
Okay,
If
what
you
other
have a
errands
monitor
would it
lizard
be?
on your door, you should be you should be fairly concerned about that.
True. Don't they weigh like 400 pounds?
No.
Don't they weigh like
Komodo
9,000 pounds?
Komodo dragons are the massive, super dangerous ones.
Oh, okay.
Monitor lizards are just like really tiny alligators. We're not as threatening as any of those, although we will eat a chicken. 'Cause chicken's delicious.
So other than food, the cultists need like some source of writing utensils or paper or something. They're tiny lizards.
Okay.
I got that.
I faked it.
God. Now you're too small. Paper, ink. What else do we need? Books.
And a sheep.
This isn't Minecraft.
No, a sheep, because the paper is good for books, but for scrolls, you don't want paper. They could have been making magical scrolls too. So like
I
he
guess
just
that
brought a
makes sense.
sheep so that way they could skin it. So maybe we can just have one of the room full of sheep. It's just like,
Probably
is this
plotting
enough
to
sheep?
rob the house. Well, they probably are. Not maybe in the traditional sense of robbing the house, but they definitely probably want some of your food.
Lizards are conniving. We work solely off instinct.
So
I think
cultists
those
need miscellaneous goods for their
Might be
rituals.
contradictory.
So there probably would be a fair amount of. What do you call that? Ritual
Reagents?
items?
Reagents for like alchemy and such. They could have been making potions. Means we could give them some more health potions to.
I
or at
like
least
that idea.
ingredients to get some more health potions when they go back to town. So they kind of
That's
just use
actually a
all
really good idea. Large store of
alchemy reagents.
health pots related. Alright, let's put that.
Yeah, I like the idea of
In
the most
here.
recent job he was given was go
Why is
bring
it
us.
brown?
I don't know.
That's not brown, that's orange. That's even worse. White is the color we want. There we go.
Yeah, I like the idea.
Why are
of just,
people
like,
shouting?
Oh no, calm thyself.
Next. You know what? Let's go
to EDM.
EDM, there we go.
There's like very little words in EDM.
There you go. You
Yeah.
say, and it's just ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
But yeah, but I
Anyway.
like the idea of just straight up there's a room full of sheep. He's
Okay,
just been
but
gathered-
where? Where
Uh,
would the room full of sheep be?
the supply gate? He comes in through the supply gate.
Makes sense. Um,
And it's just that room is now full of sheep.
room full of sheep?
Yeah. So he just like brings the sheep, and then he walks out, goes back to the group of people that are at the pews, and it's just like, okay, I lost count. I brought another one. Is it good now? And just no reaction. It's like, okay, I
Fine,
go
I'll
get
get
another
more.
one, and just goes back through the portal.
Yes.
What does he need to get through that door again? The blue one?
This blue door?
Yes.
Um, the ability to portal. So dimension door or the portal gun or however we decide to make that key.
So what actually is the door?
I think. Let me check. Yeah, blue is the ability to portal.
So what actually is the door? 'Cause I don't think we ever-
Probably a very small hole that you can see through. Actually, probably like this. Probably exactly like this.
So he's a large creature and has to fit through a hole that's the size of a small creature.
I was thinking more the size of a brick.
Okay. So
I mean, gaseous form is supposed to not even be able to bypass the ability to portal. No, never mind. That's able to bypass the ability to fly. So we should be able to. They should be able to bypass portal with gaseous form. Okay.
So like he literally just goes up to the brick and then just it's like did you just pokes his head back through the Oh wait, now isn't there a spell for becoming like go through?
Do you mean blink?
No, not a teleport. Well, I mean kind of.
No, blink is not a teleport in D&D. Blink is
Third level spell.
third level spell. Roll a d20. You vanish from your current plane of existence and appear on the ethereal plane. At the start of your next turn, when the spell ends, if you are on the ethereal plane, you return to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within 10 feet of the space you vanished from.
We need to be careful if teleportation works though, because second level spell Misty Step allows you to teleport to a thing you can see, so they'd be able to completely negate the thing, at least for one person.
Yeah, I think when I was designing these keys, actually no, I think that was just straight from Angry's original plan. The guy I got this spreadsheet from. I think that was one person bypassing does not mean is not an issue. It's when multiple people can bypass it that it becomes an issue.
Alright, I'm okay with this then.
Yeah.
We just won't offer them any scrolls or anything like that of any teleportation spells. They just
Not
don't
quite
have
yet.
any. Yeah.
We'll eventually give him the portal gun, and that'll make up for it.
So like he just walks up to the door and or walks up to the thing, looks through the hole, and then just on the other side, just like, huh? What? Okay.
Yeah.
Just keeps going. It's like it's the first because if they ever see him, in fact, I like the idea of them seeing him go in there when they first get to that area. Like he's just about to leave again, and like as they enter that area, he just bloop right through the door. And it's like, was that a massive wizard?
That's not a bad way to do it, but one of the things that you should remember is this is not, while this is completely 50-50 whether or not they go this way, and they will probably go this way because they just get this key here and they're going to want to try it out, but this is an optional section here. They don't have to go through here until day...
Yeah, but it won't matter because they won't have enough time to interact with him. They will see him
17.
for just a moment, and then he's gone. So they won't even be able to interact with them. It'll be like seeing an Easter egg of like, hey, if you look off this ledge of a cliff during the second level of this game, you can see the final boss walking by on that bridge down there, or something like that. Like, you can see him early if you go the other way. But it's just like, wait, what did we just see? It's like, what was that? Because they just found the cultist. If they do go that way, giant man, because they'll be able to see that he's human, because the cloak is way too small for him. So it's gonna look like those religious little cloaks that like go over the shoulders and that's it.
But that's like man in a little cloak.
Big head and little cloak.
Yep.
But yeah, it'll look like one of those on him, even though it's a full body cloak. Like, he's just huge. So like, they'll see he's human, they'll see he's jacked to high hell, and then he'll be gone.
I like it.
And they won't get to interact with him at all. And he'll just be gone, and he'll continue doing their thing, and when they go back in there, they can find just a room full of stuff and an exceptional amount of sheep for some reason. And then we could even script it to where like he comes back through the gate after they're done investigating the room, and he's just like, oh hi, are you part of the cult too? It's like,
actually,
yes.
Would he be smart enough to ask? He'd probably just be like, welcome home guys, nice to see you finally moving. Did I get enough sheep?
It's like, oh hey, somebody who's moved. Is this enough sheep?
Please say yes. I am tired.
I don't know where to get more.
This was the last one.
In fact, there could even be if they want to do for the side questing problem we had.
There could figure out where the missing sheep are going.
Yes. And if they go do that quest, they find the same massive figure out in the middle of nowhere, and then just goes through magical gate and just disappears, and it's like, what? And they can't get it to activate because he has the cult cloak, and on it is a magical pin that activates the gate.
He just has the ability to teleport.
No, because I was thinking of using the supply gate as a fast travel in the future if they ever want to do it.
Okay, that's fair.
So like, if they wanted to just teleport in here, they would need to get a cult cloak. If they wear that, the pin allows them to go out into like off the border of the town where there's a teleportation gate that leads straight to that one.
I like it. That's
because they needed to have a supply route because they're on top of a mountain. And so they would occasionally go to different towns to go check things out, but they only have the pin that allows them to go to use this gate, because they don't have the authority to use the others, because all of the important people will be long dead. And I mean, maybe, but like the pins are destroyed or something, and like they find one. Hell, maybe even they can convince him to give them his cloak at some point when they befriend him, and allow them to use it that way.
It's not a bad idea. But yeah, I can see them just not liking him, and just if we don't say you're done, you're not done. Just keep doing it.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, what can happen? One, they like him and they convince, you keep skipping songs, man. You don't
Everything
like
has words. Anyway.
You can go ambient.
That wasn't even my hand. What did it detect? Whatever.
Ambient and yeah, ambient is guaranteed to not have any.
Try synthwave.
That one's not bad.
Okay.
But Yeah, so like they like him, they talk to him, they befriend him, and everything is good.
Mm-hmm.
Option two, they don't trust him, they trick him, lie to him, and they don't get his help. And he just kind of reoccurs every now and then, just like Long. He just kind of shows up every here and there, and is just kind of doing stuff.
I like it.
And if they ever decide to use him, then they will. And if they don't, then he just kind of is on his own adventure until eventually plot happens and he's actually needed, and that's when he shows up and does things. But
Makes sense.
if they don't want to include him, then he won't be included. And option three, they attack him and then he claps one of them into a fine powder.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah.
I am slightly concerned about teaching our players that they shouldn't fuck with our NPCs, though, because they definitely should fuck with our. They should interact with our NPCs.
Yeah, but again, he's really derpy, and I don't think he's like they would have to really upset him, because in my opinion, he doesn't attack them unless they activate his rage. They have to upset him that much. And at that point,
well, yeah, the light would recognize the
people it's
Aasimar
trying to use to save itself. Like, this is its whole plan. So it's not going to try and get him to attack. They have to push him way too far.
Yeah.
So unless they're like purposefully trying, I don't see them pulling that off.
All right, let's go to room descriptions. So looks like we've done
This does mean eventually
entrance.
we'll have to make his character sheet,
Yeah.
which I'm kind of okay with doing on a little bit on Monday if you want to. Or did you have something else planned?
On Monday, I'm down.
Cool.
Okay,
Make
so
buff
we
wizard.
need to make
30 strength,
the
30 dexterity.
shed of many things.
Oh yeah, they're gonna. Nice.
Awesome, welcome back. First draft looks good. That's always nice when the first draft looks good. I hate scrapping like first, second, third, fourth, fifth draft. You're just like, I need
72nd.
something.
It's fine until you get to the 72nd try and you're like, okay, maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Okay, so the shed of many things. This is a very small room with the east and south walls having collapsed. There is another hole in the south wall you can easily walk through. Scattered around the shed are many gardening tools, as well as other trinkets with no apparent use or purpose. What?
Idea!
What's your idea?
We could foreshadow him even harder.
How's
Remember
that?
how I said that the south wall of the shed of many things was going to be a hole in the wall?
Yeah.
What if
Oh
what
my
if he just
God.
walked through the wall? What if he just straight up walked through the wall and there's just a giant man-shaped hole in the wall?
You can faintly make out a large sized humanoid shape.
South wall. Missing from the south wall?
The rough outline of a large humanoid shape
There you
hole in the south wall.
go. There we go.
There we go. Rather than there's another hole in the south wall you can easily walk through. There we go.
Yeah, there was one point he forgot his cloak and had to find another way in, so he just walked through the wall.
The hero turned chaotic good lich will have his moment. That's a good point. What alignment is oddly? Wouldn't he be chaotic good? I mean, before he's corrupted,
Chaotic
obviously.
neutral. Because he's sending a lot of people to
Okay,
death.
that's fair.
Not to save the universe, but to save himself.
That's fair.
He's doing a lot of bad things, but he's doing some good things, and it's for selfish reasons, but there's positives to it.
Alignment is complicated.
I'd say he would be chaotic selfish.
Chaotic selfish. Okay, so I actually really like that description. There is...
Yeah, he just went into the cave and there was just a wall in his way and he just walked through it.
Browse items in the shed as long as they want with no penalty.
Chaotic neutral. Precisely.
That's chaotic neutral. Exactly.
Yeah, chaotic selfish.
Chaotic, yes.
Just like how I am chaotic stupid.
Okay, so this sluice gate, how do you pronounce that? I don't care actually. Sluice.
Probably sluice actually, because a sluice is something else.
Through the vaguely humanoid shaped hole in the wall, you see a water control device that is completely stoppered up. And the water from going to down a
what?
deep channel.
That is a series of events.
Off to the west. East.
Guy was basically Gilgamesh, sorta, and then goes to atone for his wars, then gets stung by a scorpion and falls in a magic spring. Turns into a lich.
Since the poison took his skin and was replaced by...
Interesting.
D&D is weird.
I like it, but like, yeah,
right?
D&D is weird. So hearing stories like this is what got me into it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Deep channel in the eyes off to the west. The rest of the room is fairly large and mostly empty. There is a slope down to the west and a slight rise, then a tunnel to the east.
Yeah, I mean, just like the random lore you come up with stuff can be some of the most fun.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much what this channel is just us coming up with stuff.
Just theory crafting.
Yeah. And then occasionally we just kind of play games because video games are fun.
Yep. So there's a slope down to the west, that's the slip and slide, and a slight raise.
Oh god, 70 pages of lore.
I mean, I haven't typed it, but what the fuck did you do with your arms? I haven't... I mean, what did I do with my arms? I haven't typed it, but I probably have several hundred pages of lore for the whole content vault and Audley's Castle and the Darkness War and all that stuff. Just floating around in my head.
I guess. I mean, we did kind of come up with the castle idea like a decade ago, so...
Yeah.
There has been a lot of untold
How long ago was that? It was...
No, it was around a decade
2012.
ago.
No, because that first campaign, I had to go to school the next day. So that was 9 years ago. Holy crap. We have a lot of lore.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, 70 pages is nothing to scoff at. I didn't even want to do it. I didn't even want to do a 2-page essay back in high school. I can't imagine doing a 70-page essay for fun.
right. Near the top of the south wall, you see a, what do you call it, platform? So much
Plateau?
lore. Plateau? Platform. No, I like it. Platform.
Ooh, nice.
Overhanging this sorting area. Water control room.
Yeah, man, it is all working towards the title of the Lord of Lore.
Lord of Lore. Now, when you say lore, I don't think you've watched Star Trek, but you don't mean lore, do you? You just mean lore? Your personal favorite king ever.
The Lord of Lore.
The Lord of Lore. A wooden platform. You do not see a way up. An easy way up. Okay. So slip and slide optional room. We have, calm down, arms. We have this deep ice slide has a probably more like 5 foot wide.
Why would you have 3 thrones though? Like, you can't sit in all 3 of them. I understand the concept, but also, like, you don't need 3 chairs, my dude.
No, you need more because your queen needs to sit next to you. For all of them. No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need your queen to follow you around and sit in the chair next to you, and so you need 6 chairs.
So he would straight up.
He wasn't exactly sane.
So he would just like talk about the pros and cons and just move to one chair to the other depending on if he was talking about a pro or a con. That sounds like a scientist.
If you go slow, there is
going
no
side to side in the room, trying to just pace and figure out what he's trying to talk about. Love the concept.
It's Fledge.
Just why 3 chairs? It's like, I need my chairs. It's my thinking seats.
I think I'm just gonna copy this. We'll go. As the players,
How he knew every citizen's birthday.
What?
That's he would send thank you
dedication,
notes.
Man.
That's amazing.
He must have had an Excel spreadsheet or something. That's impressive. If the players do not move slowly or are trying to go up the
just call it the slip and slide
ramp, they must make DC 15 acrobatics checks or lose their balance and fall back down
to the bottom.
Going up can be checks made while going up can be, what do you call it, avoided, or
What are you trying to talk about?
removed if the players use any kind of sharp tool to assist their climb.
So if if a fireball was the people's wrath, and a warhammer is the people hammer, then does that mean that the citizens were people persons?
People persons? What?
Yeah.
I don't think that makes sense.
Everyone in my land must be an extrovert. We're all people persons. I don't know. He's a people pleaser. There you go.
Checks do not have to be made while going up if the players use any kind of sharp tool to assist their climb. That reads so much better than the previous way. Alright, the icy pool.
If it wasn't for the politics,
Gracefully sliding down
he would sound like a wrestler.
the slippery slide.
Sounds like fun. At least there's no boring day in that kingdom.
Large
It's
open.
like, what's the king doing now? I don't know. Something to do with a parade and a chicken, and it's like 12 people's birthdays. To bringing out the people's wrath again. You had to cook the chickens. At least he's a good cook. Just has a luau in the middle of the kingdom.
Same temperature. Strangely not frozen like the surrounding ice by units.
He put his ballot in a ballot box, sat in the middle chair, and pulled it out. So,
But that's
to
the
make
only
it
option.
official. A vote must be made.
That's great. I like it. So the north wall of this lower cavern is made of the same gray brick of the castle.
Is made of castle.
Made of castle.
Bam.
I forget. This says there is a big informational discovery behind the wall. Do you remember what the informational discovery was supposed to be?
We never made it officially. We did have a pick for which it would be, though, I think.
Okay. Because yeah, it doesn't look like
I love it. That's amazing.
player backstory day 4 unkeyed optional. Is that what it is? No, that's that other one. That's the one in the hidden room on top of the vines. Yeah, it doesn't look like we made a mark on it, which one it was supposed to be.
I think it was supposed to be about how the castle just kind of appeared here. Because of the
So it was a placeholder for why the cultists were here and that kind of thing?
Yeah, like it explains the cult a bit.
Okay.
Because it was supposed to like literally be fused with the walls and such. And like, I don't remember, there was supposed to be a room behind him, I think. Like he was supposed to be
day 5,
fused
north
in
optional.
the
The cultists were trying to summon the castle, and
To Leon Freeman. Morgan Freeman?
Ritalia. Failed many times. Maybe.
Richard Arkwright.
So this is supposed to be one of the big discovery rooms, though. So I have another discovery here. This is going to be the key, so that's not... We can add discovery, explanation point here, but I want this one to be the main one.
The only thing I remember for absolute certain was the guy down there is literally part of the wall. His climber kit was there. If they used delicacy to remove his stuff, then they would get it. But if they used force, they were going to rip some of the bricks free while taking the stuff out. And the wall was supposed to collapse, and there was supposed to be something behind it, but I don't remember what's in that area of the castle. So I think we need to look at the...
That's what it was. So the cultist summoned the castle into the mountain, and then everything got frozen, was the idea we wanted to convey with that. That's what that was. So he's going to be phased into the wall, and yeah, that makes sense. Also, are you hiccuping normally? What the fuck?
I know, right? It happens sometimes.
God, that's weird.
Hey man, I don't know what you want me to do. Everyone complains about my weird hiccups, and then everyone gets confused when I hiccup normally. Like, I'm sorry, I can't be a pterodactyl 24/7. Sometimes I need to hiccup like a person. I'll get another drink.
Phased into this wall is the corpse of a dead guy. He is covered in ice. And he's covered in clear ice.
And maybe he has like a blanket on him.
You can easily see that he was engulfed by the castle before he got frozen. There we go. That's as simple as it gets.
Oh, I kinda... What if all of the frozen... What if all of the frozen cultists, and this guy too, were just covered in blankets?
But why would they be covered in blankets?
Because they're cold.
I don't get it.
Ed put them on them. He's like...
You mean they're...
He's like, they're not moving. I think they're cold. That's his blanket.
He's covering clear ice.
Okay. I think I would like the idea of he thinks they're ignoring him.
There is a blanket draped over something sticking out of the brick wall. If the players remove the blanket,
yeah, he was
they
nice to
see
this guy.
that phased into this wall is the corpse of a dead guy. He is covered in clear ice, and you can easily see that he was engulfed by the castle before he got frozen. I like it. Makes
Yeah, maybe he found this guy
Makes
when
no
he was
sense at
still
all.
alive and was just like dying in the wall. So he's just like, here, have blanket, and then just like the guy froze to death because that's
What? No, the blanket came after the ice.
Then why would he? Because I like the idea too much of that he thinks the cultists are ignoring him. So I don't want him to put blankets on them, but I like this guy having a blanket for no particular reason.
I don't think that makes enough sense to actually put it in. The blanket afterwards makes sense because I could see them being like, this guy's cold. He's covered in ice. He must need a blanket.
Oh, that's it. He doesn't think that there's. That's perfect. He's not bringing the sheep for scrolls. He needs their wool. He is making blankets because everyone is cold and they're sick and he's trying to warm them up.
No, that doesn't make any sense at all. What the fuck are you talking about?
I like him being a master craftsman for no reason. It makes perfect
No,
sense.
it doesn't.
It
What
just
the
looks
fuck?
like grandma's knitting and just like, I've made blankets. He's just making a massive quilt for all the people outside.
Wouldn't a quilt imply that he had a lot of separate pieces that he stitched together? I think that's what a quilt is, right?
He started taking all of the spare blankets and started putting them together. And he didn't have enough blanket. So now he needs sheep to make more blanket.
I like he's just gathering more and more sheep. Is this enough? No, okay. Is this enough? No, okay. I like that idea better. The blankets thing takes too much thought.
You're right. So then why do they have blankets then? If he thinks they're ignoring him, why would he bring them blanket?
I don't know. He
Maybe
probably
he's just
doesn't
that
have a
nice of a
blanket
guy.
then.
He's just that nice of a guy. He's like, I know you're being mean, but you have ice. Here, blanket. Feel better.
I can see that happening.
Because the whole joke is that like
he's more sheep now.
he's just a massive, like he's the giant softy. That's what I want to get across to everybody before they like. When they finally meet him, I just want them to understand that he's just a giant softy.
I like it.
Because that way they're more likely to use him. And like be nice with him and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like it. Okay, so the blanket is draped over something sticking out of the brick wall. On top of the ice. He is... I deleted the wrong line. Okay, there we go. I'll put this as a interactable, and we'll go below the blanket. God, that is so loud.
It's not even loud though.
You were saying that me opening one of those Uncrustables was loud for you. That's probably exactly the same thing.
Why does it want to pick it up and make it loud? It's
I don't know.
just Baby Bell cheese. Come on, man.
Below the blanket, on the ground, is 3 ice picks. It's simple enough.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to have like climbing gear on him.
Yeah.
So we can just give somebody climbing gear.
Inside the ice, you can see he is wearing, just a full kit of climbing gear. I don't know what that consists of in D&D, but he now has
it's an
it.
item, so you can check it. It's like
Minus
with
the
Adventurers
ice
pack and
picks.
stuff like that.
Those are on the ground. Alright, that works. I think we have that nailed down pretty well.
So what is the room north of that? Because like
the
if
room
he's
north
going to
of
be
that
faced
is
in the wall,
yeah.
like it needs to either be a pocket that just exists because not all of the castle got torn. So like this could be part of the foundation or something like that, and he could just be part of a like just solid wall. Or it needs to be part of the room.
1, 2, 3, and 1 over. 1, 2, 3, and 1 over. So it's in this area right here. So if they go down far enough to reach the basement floor, it's going to be nothingness on the other side of that wall.
So
if we're still on this floor, however, this is day 19, something around there, I think.
Because that area is a little bit lower. So we can say it's part of the basement.
Yeah, day
if we
19.
want.
Yeah,
and we can just make the wall that he's stuck in foundation, so it's just solid wall.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we'll go.
So yeah, we'll
These
ignore the idea of the
rooms
wall
need
collapsing when they rip him out.
this direction.
What?
These 3 rooms need to slope up in this direction because this icy pool down at the bottom goes here. Wait, hold up. Never mind. There's no exit there. We don't need that. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. It's fine. There's no exits.
So yeah, they can just kind of remove his gear. And if they pry him from the wall,
Yeah.
I say like if they pull hard enough, they just break him apart.
Yeah.
And it's just pieces of him are still in the wall.
Oh,
And
that's
like,
right.
just,
We
like,
need to
snap
mention
his arm off or something like that.
that if the players stay in this room
Oh yeah, they can
for more
stop the area
than
from flooding.
a few seconds, they notice a small trickle of water coming out of the water control door.
Yeah, I like the idea of like if they investigate that room, you like hear a creak or a crack or something, and if they investigate that sound, they can figure out that it came from the sluice and that the water flow has gotten slightly heavier, and they can see it being like partially damaged.
Yeah. If the players stay in this room for any good length of time, they notice the small trickle of water is getting larger. There we go. When the players decide to leave, the
Sluice breaks open if they did not repair it earlier.
the sluice breaks open if they didn't make a reasonable effort to
Fix.
reinforce the Water control gate.
Why are you trying to like make it so wordy?
Can you think of a better way to say this?
If they didn't fix it. Bam. I mean,
Sure.
they can just take some like we can just straight up ask them, okay, what are you gonna do with this thing? We can show them a picture of what a sluice is,
Yeah.
and be like, this thing, how do you fix? And then they tell us how they fix, and then they roll, and if it's decent, then yay. If it's a stupid attempt and a high roll, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. If it's a good idea but a bad roll, probably doesn't work. But if it's a decent idea and a decent roll, booyah, problem solved.
Runs into the large open pool. The water level on the pool does not change. There we go.
Ah!
What do you mean?
Closed
Why?
my team viewer. Why?
It crashed.
Why are you crashing my team viewer?
I didn't. It's probably the same issue I had before.
Stop crashing my team viewer, man. Come on.
Alright, 5 rooms done.
There we
now
go.
Need
I finally got a decent picture of what a sluice is.
rushing waters. Some kind of slippery ice trap I have here. Some kind of moving up a strong water stream challenge. I mean, they could just walk slowly.
What? Oh, that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can just take a 20. Just carefully walk up the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Remind them that that is an option that they can do. It's time consuming, but as long as it's not a dangerous location, they should be fine. There you go. Finally found a good picture for a sluice.
Good picture for a sluice.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Another way you can think of it is, you know that giant water elevator that exists?
Looks more like a dam, but okay.
Yeah, you know that giant water elevator that exists? Where like the boat would go into the thing, the doors would close, and then the water levels would rise, and the gate above would open and they'd be able to continue up the river?
Okay, that's called a water lock.
Yes,
and that's
but
a really
the
complicated
gates are
thing.
technically sluices, according to the definition.
I see. Alright, rushing waters. We should probably mention and
Yeah.
the
Just a gate
source
is just a
of
gate.
water comes from a tunnel to the east. Okay.
Yeah, I found another decent picture. But yeah, it's just gate in front of water flow.
Fair enough.
So it could be that like the door is starting to break off and it's like slowly leaning at an angle until eventually the water just snaps the door off.
Yeah, I like it. We do have an encounter set up for the sluice gate area. Do we want that? Because they're gonna definitely be in here for any good length of time if they have a combat.
Depending on what we put in here, it could be that the sluice gets damaged in the fight. So we need to know what kind of enemies we're gonna put in here.
Not bad. Maybe some of the cultists have thought out already? Would that be?
I mean, I can see some spellcaster firing off a fireball and damaging the sluice.
Okay.
Oh, here's another really good picture, actually.
I don't think we're gonna throw an encounter together, but let's just make a note.
I think this is probably the best picture I found. That shows the real functionality of it.
Some cultists have fought, and the sluice door gets damaged in the fight. Okay.
But yeah, that last picture, I think that's the best one. Like, that's a top view, so like you can see the water flow change and everything.
I mean, you could see the water flow change in the other ones too.
Yeah, but I just like it.
Okay. It's a good picture. Very descriptive.
That is insane. What am I
What?
looking at?
I don't know, because I can't see. But rushing waters, we have...
I think it's a burb.
You know what would be interesting? Is if we have the players just simply wade through the water. Like, the tunnel isn't any wider than the water channel. I don't see how the cultists would reasonably want to use the area above as their congregation area, if that's the case, though.
But you could have a second sluice up top that's already broken. And that's why the water flow is so bad.
Not bad.
But that would mean that we need another split upriver.
I mean, we got it right here. Or you mean a place for the extra water to go? Yeah, you're right, we do. We don't really have that.
I mean, until the castle showed up, this place was a lot more manageable. There was less water.
True.
So it could be that this river is just a new-ish addition, and the sluice was made to manage it. So that way
or it wouldn't be a new addition after the castle showed up. The castle probably showed up, everyone got frozen, and the water's just been overflowing. So we could probably be the tunnel to the east. Oh wait, I should put this here. The tunnel to the east. But wait, it would be spilling out.
It would just be a stronger flow, and that's overstraining the
yeah, but you wouldn't be
sluice
able to
that's
recontain the water at the bottom unless the path that you were walking up. Because my idea was to have just some like wooden boards here. Just kind of
okay, like wooden board goes past brown, orange, because wood is orange.
just kind of like this with wooden boards going up for the pathway. But in order to make that make sense, The path would need to come down this way, and there needs to be a... What do you call it? The route that the water would take would go this way, and if it floods enough to flood the staircase here, the water would already be flowing in this direction and going down.
Well, I don't mean it's flooding, it just is a stronger torrent. And because nobody's there to maintain the sluice, it's getting damaged and is in disrepair.
Yeah, but I was trying to come up with a way to do the moving up a strong water stream challenge.
I don't exactly know how, unless we made it an encounter. Fighting while in rushing waters would be annoying.
True. Yeah, no, that would be really annoying. Especially considering we've already trained our players to not go into the water. Or have we done that already?
No.
We haven't done that already. We do need to train them that. Okay, I like that.
This could be the introduction to the quippers. To just have some quippers in the water.
But it's rushing waters. The quippers wouldn't stay there for very long.
Eh. It wouldn't be a swarm either. We could just have a handful of individual quippers swimming along the water as it's rushing, and just as they come into contact with the players, just take a nibble out of them. So they just get bit by fish that are coming out of nowhere as they're trying to hike up this freaking water flow.
Alright.
And it wouldn't even be considered a fight. Like, you could attack the quipper and kill it, sure. Or you could just kind of knock the quipper away and let it flow downriver.
Okay.
That would still be
idea.
a completely acceptable way to complete the challenge.
So, are we going to make the path tighter and make it follow the river more evenly?
I guess it mostly depends on was the river here originally? Because if it was, the cultists had to have a way up. And
yes,
granted,
it was. That's why the sluice exists.
So then we could have some kind of way to avoid the flowing water, but have it be destroyed so it's no longer usable.
I got it. So we'll go...
We have broken bridge. If they fall in the rushing waters, then every turn they're in the water, they get bit by a quipper as it swims by. So they just take 1 damage every turn they're in there.
Yeah, it goes like this. Up like that. So that way we can have these here just simply not here. And we'll go broken bridge.
Would you like to hear a story about the bridge? There isn't one. That's the story.
That is a terrible story about a broken bridge. The fact that there is no bridge is not the story. Broken bridge. And so they do have to wade through the water in order to make it up.
And they can use DC checks to see if they get out in more than, or in one turn. Nat 20s to let them avoid the fish entirely. A decent roll will mean that they're in the river for like a turn or two and just take a couple chip damage from the fish. And low rolls, they just gotta keep rolling till they can get the hell out of the river and stop getting bit by piranhas.
Alright, so I'm liking that idea. So we can say...
It's just an annoyance. It's just like, how bad is your luck?
Tunnel to the east has a set of wooden boards set as stairs that follow next to the small river. Is it a river or a stream? It's a stream.
Stream. Oh, hey, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, what? Oh, hey. That's kind of cool. The wooden stairs continue straight and up to a bridge. This bridge has collapsed and will...
We can make it a decent jump, and if they get a good roll, they can jump the bridge. Bad roll means you fall in the river, get bit.
Bridge.
Give them some way to avoid it.
About... what, 10 feet across?
Depends on how easy you want to make the thing.
How does long jumps work in D&D?
There's a thing for it.
Yeah,
just like there is for
Googling it. Or not Googling it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
long jump. Speed. Jumping. Jump. Jumping. Long jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump, when you make a standing long jump, you can only leap half that distance. You can cover a number of feet up to your strength score.
So most people would do about 15 or so.
Yeah.
So we could have it to where the physically inclined are able to jump it, but the others aren't. Or we could just make it not jumpable.
When you make a standing long jump, you can leap only half that distance.
But there's no reason why they wouldn't make a running start.
Continue up to a bridge. They continue up a steep incline to a bridge. The bridge used to be about 10 feet across, but has collapsed.
By the way, nobody can see this.
What?
We've been blocking the chat for text for a while now. We just weren't far enough down that I cared to say anything.
If the this bridge used to be about 10 feet across, but has collapsed. The icy ground and missing and steep incline mean that long jumps must be made from standing?
Well, at that point, a 10-foot gap would be unmakeable. Unless
Yeah.
you assisted somebody.
Yeah, no, that's the point. We'll
Hey,
go
fishy.
8. Hey, fishy,
What's
how's
my
it going? What's my
favorite
favorite
class or
class?
build
Archer.
in D&D?
Sorry, Ranger.
Muscle wizard.
Okay, the muscle wizard's starting to grow on me, but Ranger. Specifically Archer.
Usually I play sorcerer, but I really like monk as well. It's just that their early game is so bad, and my campaigns usually don't last long enough to get to the really good monk parts. So I'm usually a sorcerer. I tried druid. I thought I would like many forms, but I didn't really get super into it. So I'd say monk and sorc. Melee sorcerer is fun. Why did you grab my face? Why are you casting ninjutsu? An Eldritch Knight Fighter. Fantastic.
And P. Ow.
That coughing fit was a spell I cast. Never do that again.
I hate you. D&D, you and the boys have a running a level 3 Eldritch Knight Fighter. I don't think I've taken that subclass as fighter. How does it go? I don't think I'm familiar.
Eldritch Knight, I think that's the Spellblade kind of style. Where like
Okay.
Yeah, so you're a fighter, but you use offensive and defensive and buff magics to make yourself far more threatening. You're not gonna win against a fighter in melee usually, but you can usually chip him down pretty hard before he gets near you, so you can win. Or at the very least make it a fair fight. At least that's my understanding of
a
it.
standing long jump. Moves you 1/2 your strength score. There we go. You use magic and use spells along with your blade. So the thing you wanted to do in Neverwinter but was never able to do.
The thing I want to do in most games and I'm never able to do. I love Spellblades,
I guess
man.
that's fair.
There's only one game that I've ever been able to do Spellblades in, and that game was Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, and I guess...
Log reveal? I mean...
Oh, how's log?
He's already been revealed, but...
I actually deleted the log layer. I haven't used them in forever, so I do not have log available at the moment. Please leave a message after the beeps.
Screw that.
No, not log. Oh, you mean long?
Where did you save that picture?
It's on the desktop.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. You got your log back.
The likeness is uncanny.
If the players enter the water, they take... How much would you say? 2? 3? I think 2. 1d4 damage from passing quippers
There you go.
each round.
One of us.
Wait.
One of us. One of us.
The players need can't target
One of us.
quippers. No, the players can't target the quippers because they pass so quickly. They remain in the water. Makes sense.
So yeah, they'll just take 1 damage every turn until eventually they get out of the water.
They're probably going to complain that they don't get any experience from that, but oh well. This guy looks pretty good.
That looks pretty amusing.
You don't have any spells.
Oh god, your wisdom and charisma, my dude.
Right.
You're struggling a bit.
Not bad.
I don't see your list of spells though. You not
right
have
here.
any yet?
Not bad. High jump. You leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier. 3 minus 3 equals 0. You can't jump at all. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump, you can only move half that distance. Either way, each foot you clear on the jump costs a foot of movement. Okay.
And well, soon you shall have magic blade, and then you shall magically chop people in half, and it shall be glorious.
Oh, cool! It tracked that.
And then you shall cast partial polymorph.
Partial polymorph.
Oh.
No, wrong hand. Go away.
Ed pets.
God damn it.
Reminds me of Fishman.
After the bridge encounter,
See, Fishy
can
gets
I
What?
encounter?
Yeah, man, one of us,
the
man.
players continue up the
I almost spit out my drink.
wooden.
I pictured if we cosplayed each other.
Or oh
So
god,
we just put pointy ears on me, and we just put a lizard face on you, and it's just like huzzah.
no, that's not how you cosplay.
Okay, I'll get contacts.
No one draw fan art. I'm just gonna say that. Or wait, maybe draw fan art.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it kind of would actually. After the bridge encounter, the players continue up the tunnel for about 40 more feet. 20? No, let's go. 10 feet vertical. And the next room.
You know, if they want some rewards, we could give them the
larger-
random encounter XP rewards for the rushing water room.
Oh, it is random quippers.
Yeah.
well, for day 5, random encounters.
scheduled quivers.
Random encounter experience is 25, so they would be insulted, to say the least.
Like they were when you gave them 10 after their entire party almost died.
God, I felt bad for that. I felt so bad for that.
Dude, we've all felt bad about the entire scenario. I didn't want to wipe them to a random encounter.
Right? No, this isn't the large open cavern yet. Then the tunnel widens, and there is a flat clearing
triage
on the
so the river flows by
side of the river.
Nickel tent kind of area?
Yeah.
Hospice? There we go.
Mm-hmm. So we'll go frozen triage. In the middle of the flat area are several. Don't just say straight up military tents. Military tents with a giant plus icon on the side. There we go.
I mean, one of the
Get your healing here.
one of the locations that they go to for supplies could be the could be like a local army or something like that, and they're just taking stuff. They just took stuff from them.
Yeah, makes sense. The giant plus icon on the side.
These are teleporting cultists. They can get whatever the hell they want.
Right.
They also have like a force of nature literally walking around getting them stuff. So, you know.
The 3 tents are...
It's like if you tamed the Hulk.
About 8 feet on each side and 6 feet tall. It's like a triangle thing. You know, standard freaking miniature military medical tent.
I
don't actually
kind
know
of
how big those
imagined
are.
a lean-to, but yeah.
What's the lean-to?
Where it's
I've heard
just
it,
like
but-
an awning that's like attached to the wall. But I guess they wouldn't really need like
You wouldn't need that because you're inside a cave.
So then why would you need tents though? Wouldn't it just be like a walled off area? For, you know.
Gonna stream playing D&D after we're done making it. So yes and no. We are currently running a party through this dungeon, and we don't have a good solution for capturing everyone's voices when we do the session, because we do them in person. So as soon as we get that solved, we will start streaming it. But we need to figure out how to do the audio thing first. They are currently right in this room. This is the next room they're going to go into. So they've done this light gray area here, and then these 5 rooms here. 6 rooms, yeah. Discord would work if we weren't in person, but with the way the room that we do our sessions in is laid out, everyone's mics would be picking up everyone else, and one mic would have audio balancing issues. So we're gonna need to find some other solution.
I mean, we could use like a conference mic setup, or you know what might be the best option?
Hmm?
Those little clippable mics that like
Do you have any
reporters and
idea
stuff
how
like
expensive those things are?
I know, but like it would be such a good solution.
I mean, it would be a good solution. And then you can run that mic to everyone's headsets that they'd be wearing so that they can monitor themselves along with everyone else, and you'd have a completely professional audio setup. But that's expensive. That is super expensive. With a giant flag hanging on a pole with a plus icon.
Okay, it's not actually that bad. If we go with a corded version,
Bearing
it's like $20 a piece.
plus icon. $20 a piece for 8 people. You forget we have 8 people.
I didn't say that it wouldn't be cheap in general. I'm saying it wouldn't be that
Dude, I got a
bad.
video card I need to buy in a month. I'm
aware. But like, also,
What, are you gonna
Yeah.
pick them up then? Because I'd definitely set it up if you pick them up, but
I don't mind pitching in, but right now, I mean, we don't
Yeah.
have much longer before we're gonna have to put this on hold.
I know, right? It's getting late. You'll catch the next stream. All right. Have a nice night, fishies. Thanks for stopping by. Love chatting with you.
Yeah. Goodbye. Say goodbye, log. Blah.
Eh.
Log is now its own entity. It has gained sentience.
God damn it. That's not a good thing.
You know what? The Edda and Eddie reference is perfect. Log is my plank. Do you agree, Log?
No.
I think he agrees.
No.
You can't reach him over there. Get wrecked.
Go away.
Snout. This is one weakness.
Barely outside of reach. Okay, so we have tables and cots. There are several. Are these triage cots in use? Probably not, actually. Because what would have harmed the cultists before the castle showed up?
Well, it probably would have been mostly like to act.
Oh wait, no, the castle showed up and like caused significant damage to the rocks and stuff. So probably
people got hurt.
Rubble, shrapnel, that kind of thing. Just
would it be in use now? I don't think so. I think that because they're all dead now, they are under shadow control. They are deceased. In order
yes
to
and
save
no.
them, they need to be revived.
They probably would be. They would probably still be there, covered in ice, because Long came through and froze everyone.
Yeah, but we're talking about the ones that were thawed out already.
True, but that's not going to be these guys.
Yeah, true.
I don't know where those guys came from, but it's not going to be these guys.
We can have the ones that are out there defrosting.
Are several
Maybe the
cots
blankets
with...
are working.
Oh, that'd be great. Yes, the blankets are definitely working. But there are several cots with in use. They hold
dead, frozen patients, I guess.
They hold dead humanoid.
Well, it'd be Dragonborn. They were all Dragonborn except for Ed.
They hold corpses that are covered in several inches of clear ice.
Did we ever mention that the ones that are at the frozen congregation have been shadowed over underneath the ice? Because that could be what separates them.
I'm
Like
not
that could
following.
be it. The ones at the congregation could be covered in shadow ice instead. That was the only one that Dragon Long could get to before Sane Long intervened.
Okay,
So
that makes
everything's been
sense.
frozen over with normal ice, but the shadow ice is melting because it was meant to kill them, but
Yeah,
not
that makes
freeze them
sense.
solid.
All right.
Long affecting the ice what froze them solid, but shadow ice. So those
Yeah.
ones can be the ones that like several of them are missing. You can see like puddles of black water where like amongst the pews, and that could be where the now shadow controlled dragonborn were sitting before. And so some of them are just dead, covered in ice, and some of them
Yeah.
have been resurrected by the shadow powers, and those can be mostly moved about. And just every time they come back, there's fewer and fewer in the congregation room. And that'll account for these guys just wandering about. And that would explain why they get them in the random encounters table.
I like it.
So the triage can have the people that Sane Long froze, and then just a massive group in the congregation will be where the enemies come from.
Further down the tunnel. Further down. Tunnel. What do you what do you call it? The tunnel squeezes?
Squeeze. Squedge.
Gets
Narrows?
smaller. Narrows. Constricts, that's the word I'm thinking of.
Like a snack.
Down to
I didn't like the way
3
you
feet.
looked up.
What?
Like you, it's like I was like you're like a snack, and you just kind of looked off to the corner. You're like, I will murder you. I don't know why, but that was the vibe I got.
Further down, the tunnel constricts down to about 3 feet before opening into a much larger cavern. About 10, 20, 30, 40 feet in diameter. It's not bad.
You want to take a quick second? I need to use the bathroom and such.
Yeah, sure. Let's take a 5-minute break. You think we should hit the button?
Yeah, friggin' run an ad, might as well.
Okay, we'll see you guys after the ad break. We're gonna get food and bathroom and stuff. See you on the other side. On back live.
Ha! It's a Jack in the Box ad.
Is it?
Well, for me it is at least.
Got 30 seconds left. Oh.
Are you sure you hit the right button?
Yes.
Because my ad's already over.
Oh, is it?
Hmm.
Oh well, whatever. It says 10 seconds left.
Did you unmute us?
Welcome back, guys. I'm pretty sure I unmuted. Yep. Alright, we got food. Well,
Sort of.
Long got food. I don't actually have any unfrozen food, so that's gonna de-thaw for a minute.
I know what you grabbed.
What else could I have grabbed? Seriously.
We need to take a page from Civ HD and just get a sandwich drawer.
A sandwich drawer.
Yes. You know that little slide drawer thing that is where you're supposed to put your mouse and keyboard on your computer desks? You
I
use
don't know
that?
if you've seen my desk or not, but I'm
use that
pretty
as a
sure you've
sandwich
seen your desk. We don't have drawer.
I know, but he had a sandwich drawer. So like, I'm thinking, what if we just had a sandwich drawer?
I wonder what these taste like when frozen.
It tastes like wrappers being opened.
Oh, that was loud, huh? Sorry.
Give me crap for it.
Sorry.
And the answer is they taste kind of weird frozen.
They
almost don't.
yeah. Also, I did not realize jelly and peanut butter were so damn hard when frozen.
Most things are hard when they're frozen solid.
I guess that's fair. Alright, so next we have the natural fridge. What did we have planned for this room?
It was supposed to be their food supply. Probably just like meats and such things. I don't know, just foods. We could have even had a tiny little garden that was receiving water through the water flow.
Mm-hmm.
Just something so that way they wouldn't have to go steal food constantly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Considering who is now the errand boy,
Mm-hmm.
I say it's full of chickens or ducks or whatever it was that we had. The infinite ducks or whatever it was from before.
I thought that was a joke. You actually want to add that?
That is his food supply. I told you earlier, something was brought up. Dude that big needs to be eating protein and a lot of it. So I was thinking instead of rations and stuff like that, he doesn't need food. He has a bag of holding that is literally infinite ducks. Or infinite chickens or whatever it was. I think it was ducks.
Okay.
And it's just infinite. So whenever he's hungry, he just reaches in there and then he eats a duck. So like he could just have a bunch of like ducks that have been cleaned and feathered and all that stuff, and they're just like hanging there. They could be drying the meats, preserving them for like winter or stuff.
Okay.
So they could,
So they're hanging from the ceiling then? Like
yeah, with like hooks and ropes and
meat
stuff.
house or whatever?
Yeah.
Like in those horror games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if they actually want to investigate the meat and stuff, they could probably get some rations out of it. And get some duck jerky. But no, I was completely serious about that infinite duck bag. I agree with it. He will never use it for anything else. Literally just it's his food supply. And he's not willing to risk it. Because he doesn't know how there's infinite ducks, but he doesn't know if it's ever gonna run out. So he doesn't waste them, he just eats them.
That sounds like it would be too big-brained.
You think it's too big brain for him to have a bag of ducks, and he just kind of eats ducks?
No, I mean like rationing.
No, he doesn't ration. He eats like 20 of these a day or some crazy amount. Like he's just constantly eating.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like he just eats ducks. Like he's never going to do anything crazy with this thing. Like he's not gonna interfere and like open it and like beat a boss with it. No, it's his food. You don't touch his food. Easiest way to set him into a rage is you take his bag of quack.
God damn it. What kind of things are hanging from the ceiling then? Do we have chicken? Just lots of duck? That is so loud.
Okay, that is like on the other side of my room. I don't even know how that's picking that up. Especially after adjusting my gate. I don't get it.
Whatever.
I can see him being okay with sharing his food with his new friends, since it doesn't seem like he ever runs out. So I like to say there's a few different animals, like a couple chickens.
Hundreds of ducks are
I agree.
hanging from the ceiling.
Just the ceiling is covered with ducks.
About 5 feet off the ground. Most people walking at full height
Get a face full of duck.
will occasionally get a face full of duck. God damn it.
And since it's so high up and there's snow everywhere, it would be exceptionally dry air, so the drying process would actually be fairly efficient.
Cool.
And it's refrigerated, so it's not like it's going
Face
bad.
full of dry duck. Okay, so the entire
I don't know where you're going with this sentence, but
west wall does
Wait,
not
west
exist.
wall? I was gonna say, hold on.
There is a very distinct line where the ducks hanging from the ceiling stop, but more than that, there are no indications separating this room from the next. Simple enough.
Alright, so you can only get tier 1 sub emotes through the points thing. Because I'm not able to unlock emotes.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder, as me, can I? Unlock a emote. I can choose all three. I don't know if that's because I already have them unlocked or not, but
You're also
I
the one
can
who
choose
owns
all
it.
three.
So like nothing you look at will be the same.
I guess that's fair. Okay, so there are no indications separating this room from the next. Let's move on to the next room. Meaningless statue. Not meaningless statue.
Oh, what if the meaningless statues were actually just cultists?
I mean, my idea for the statue was that it was larger than life, so that would be slightly terrifying.
Fair. But what would it be?
Probably not larger than life, but it would probably be a dragon. Knowing what they know about the castle and what they think of, well, everything. Them being dragonborn, them knowing about the castle, knowing about the dragon warriors that...
So they have giant dragon statues.
No, just one.
Giant dragon statue.
Yes. Probably called dragon statue by players. Alright, do we have a... That's a tree.
That's a hole at the bottom of the sea.
We don't have anything good for dragon, do we? No. Alright.
You could try statue.
Dude, I don't even know how to use this thing, let alone the search bar. Like, I've never seen any of these icons before. What the fuck? Yeah, whatever. Why does my phone keep vibrating? What do you want?
Oh, should I not be texting you?
No, it's work. Stop
Still,
texting me work.
It's not even. It's like
1 a.m. Go away.
I get that we're
I'm
awake,
off the clock.
but it's still our day off. Like, leave us alone. They literally have to call you the entire day on your day off.
No, it's right-hand man saying stuff I already know, and then
As usual.
our lead checking in, making sure we did everything. I mean, they're just being nice, but I'm off the clock. Okay, so meaningless statue. A cruise. The clearing.
Cruise. A cruise. A cruise is on for loose.
In the middle of the clearing, across from the hanging ducks, is a probably very small. What?
I don't like that sentence.
What do you mean you don't like that sentence?
Across from the hanging ducks, like it's funny, but also it's a little off-putting.
I mean, this is technically supposed to be like a thriller story, so it fits.
Thriller.
In the middle of the clearing, across from the hanging ducks, is a floor to ceiling ice sculpture.
Sculpture.
sculpture of a what kind of dragon are you?
Silver. Silver shadowed now, technically. But I used to be silver.
Of a... Would you be able to... of a kind
Yes.
of dragon.
Different
If
color
any
dragons are
players-
identifiable by their different physical traits.
If any players know anything about dragons or dragonborn...
There is a dragonborn in the party.
That's the point. They can easily tell this is a silver dragon depicted. Silver is the one with the ice breath, right?
Yes, I have ice breath.
Alright, I think that's gonna be the room right there. Just done. Statue here. Statue right there.
Boom, statue.
Boom. Okay, they can easily tell there's a silver dragon depicted. Statue is very detailed. With close inspection, statue
only
is very
thing is,
detailed.
I guess
It
he would have
has
flubbed
no
it a bit.
signage.
Because the thing is, he never saw me as a dragon. But he does know of my dragon lineage.
Yeah,
Because I didn't turn into an actual dragon until the fight, which he wasn't present for.
true.
So he probably just flubbed
as
that
to-
story a little bit, considering how proud Long is to be a dragon.
Which, as to who or what this silver dragon was known for. To the north is a rocky ice slope up, and to the south is a... How do you describe a wall of force? I remember that being the thing. So we'll go D&D.
I don't remember.
Wall of force. An invisible wall of force. Okay.
So they won't see it until they bump into it. And probably when they bump into it, like a rune appears in the air.
Yeah. And to the south is a skinny, obviously man-made tunnel. Door size hole in the ice. There we go. If players try to walk through the south door, they meet an invisible wall. There is no way around this wall. Hey, Orchalon SVK, thank you for following. Much appreciated. There's no way around this wall other than the scroll the players will find later on in the dungeon. Or they could cast Disintegrate. But how? There we go. Okay, so to the north we have...
I kind of like the idea of just the muscle wizard walking straight through the wall of force, and it's just like, does he just ignore it or something? Like, does he have some kind of thing? It's like, no, he watch, and they just walk up, and as they walk into the doorway, you just hear the sound of cracking glass. And they just pick up an invisible, like, shard, and it's just like, yeah, no, he broke it.
And then what, it reformed?
It's a chore to keep that rune wall up, let's just say that. That's why they gave him a cloak.
Whenever the... right.
So he would stop walking through the
wall is touched, a large magical seal shows up.
The red abomination on the side? What a red abomination.
Red abomination on the side. Oh, you mean this thing that says EE, the frozen altar, frozen congregation, meaningless statue. So red is the color I chose for Area 5. So if I zoom out a little bit, it'll start to make a little bit more sense. Green is, I don't remember what area. Orange is day 6, Area 6, Area 7. And this is the map that we're working with. Yeah, we got 4 floors. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is fair. Hard to see the map when you're zoomed in super hard.
What are you talking about? You can see the whole map right here. It's fine.
The only whole map I can see is the hole in the map in between the pixels.
So let's see, we got the Frozen Congregation next. So this is... going up the north ramp reveals a very... what do you want to call it? Chilling sight? And make a joke on ice? Because...
Yes.
I mean, okay.
You know my sense of humor is bad enough that I would completely agree.
A sea of pews and rows and rows of pews set before a wooden platform holding a table. I'll just call it what it is, an altar. Yeah. That's it, that's the description.
I mean, yeah. It's accurate.
Let's move this over here so you can see that, and we'll go with... how many cultists do you think there were? Not hundreds, but definitely dozens. Dozens of
At
forms
least at
are...
the congregation, there were dozens, yeah.
Okay,
Because
dozens
there's gonna
of...
be a few here and there that are frozen, but with clear ice.
large mounds stacks something.
They're covered in blankets. I remember that much.
I forgot about that. Yes, they're covered.
You see pews covered with. You see pews with
Dozens
mounds and
of
mounds
large
of
blankets cover strange mounds dotted around on the pews.
Also mention the black water on the floor for where the ones that have thawed out or have melted.
In several locations, including directly next to the top of the ramp you came up, are black puddles on the ground.
And yeah,
They reflect no light.
Yeah.
And remind you of a certain wall from a few days ago.
One that the fighter nearly crouched walked into.
And the fighter will definitely be much more familiar with. No, I'm not going to put that down. They reflect no light, remind you of a certain wall from a few days ago. Next to most of these black puddles are more blankets. Probably sitting on the pews.
Pews and on the floor and such. Just like
lying on the pews. And oh my god, floor. Holy crap.
Good God, man.
So, next to most of these black puddles are more blankets lying on the pews and floor. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The altar to the west looks inviting.
That's a way to put it.
The frozen altar. So we'll go. Let's start this on the at the wooden platform. Oh, we should also mention if players go at least halfway up the room, they notice there are areas that have been extended over a lower room. Looking down, they see the sluice gate area. Okay.
So we wanted to have an encounter in that room. What do you think of the idea of like when
that's not where my hand was.
When they lift up the blankets to like see what's underneath? What if at that moment some of the ones that they looked were like finally finishing thawing?
I like it.
And just like the head is thawed out but the body's still a little bit frozen. They just fire off their breath
when
weapons.
The players lift any blanket on any mound of ice.
So we'll have to see how many actually are thawed for encounter in the
They,
future.
I don't know. How do you want to put this? When the players lift any blanket on any mound of ice, that cultist is
No, like I want some of them to be
almost
frozen,
thawed.
and like there's just like they're looking underneath, and it's like, oh, they're all like frozen, and then like as they say it, they just like lift one up, and that one's able to move its head,
So
but
what
not the
you're
rest of its
saying
body
is-
yet, and then just breath weapons right in the face.
When the players lift the third blanket on any mound of ice,
Yes, that
that
cultist
cultist is
alive.
almost thawed.
Yeah, his head is thawed because of the blanket, but the rest of his body isn't. And so he's able to fire his breath weapon, and the second round that he's alive, he'll be able to break out of his ice. But he just starts off with
His head is free and turns immediately towards the person who lifted with it.
using whatever breath weapon that particular one has.
It screams.
I'm a firing my laser.
Oh my god, roll initiative. And I don't mean screams like fire and laser, I just mean
Well, these things are dead shadows being controlled. Would they feel fear?
It roars. Roll initiative.
Yeah, all of the cultists' first turns will
If the
be
players
breath
ever
attacks.
go at least halfway up the room, they notice there are areas that have been extended over a lower room. Looking down, they see the sluice gate area.
But yeah,
Okay.
they'll be completely frozen still. Their first turns will be breath attacks, and then the second turn they'll finally be able to break out of their ice restraints, now fueled by a fight.
Like
and
it.
Actually start the moving around and such.
Makes sense.
The scary part will be they only know of the one that they lifted the blanket. How depending on how many other we put in this fight,
Right.
there may be sneak attacks.
Should be fun.
Just
On the wooden
sitting
platform
there, just
Sits
almost
a
get blasted by fire breath, and then
table
just a bolt
made
of lightning
of-
comes out of a different blanket and hits you in the face.
Right.
It's just like, oh come on, man.
On the wooden platform sits a table made of
Table. Mahogany.
what is marble. Thank you.
Mahogany and table put together make marble. I agree.
Solid white marble. This table is entirely. God, I'm starting to not be able to type.
Starting.
Shut up. This table is entirely covered with a black translucent ice that seems to move? No, undulate as you watch. On the table are two thick books and a rolled up piece of papyrus? That's what they make scrolls out of, right?
Yes.
Papyrus.
Papyrus and skins and such.
The
Which I think
table.
papyrus is made out of. Totally sure.
Oh, interesting. There's an encounter in this room. How are we going to
Yes.
keep it separate from the congregation? Probably triggered by picking up the Bible or something?
Yes.
No, on the
What
table
if-
are two thick books And
What if
behind
the guy
the
who was
altar
giving the sermon is still frozen solid?
is a... That's exactly what I was thinking. Is a priest holding a rolled up piece of papyrus.
And just will make him strong and just make him a solo fight.
I like it. The priest is also covered in ice. Black ice. But is obviously close to thawing. I can definitely see the players trying to grab the rolled up piece of papyrus and not breaking the ice. Do you want to let them do that? What do you think?
Give them a check.
What kind of check?
Sleight of hand.
If the players want to remove the scroll without...
I say a sleight of hand. How easily can they just slip it out of his fingers?
Provoking the priest. They must succeed on a... Is sleight of hand a thing? I'm not
Yeah.
fucking...
It's a dexterity thing. Rogues are really good with it, as per usual.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it's usually used for slipping a dagger into your sleeve before you go to a party and such.
DC... What kind of DC should it be?
Well, we want this fight to happen, but does it have to happen right now? It could be
DC
if,
15.
Yeah, like if they succeed, he could just not unthaw yet, and just we could put him in another room in like the nearby area next time they come by. Like they could literally like take the key.
Or maybe he's a guaranteed random encounter. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, but you know, he thaws and he's just wandering around.
They take the scroll. It works. They head south. They open the door, and as they cast the disintegrate, he just comes around the corner and it's just like, what?
Give me
have
back
you
my scroll!
done? And then breath attack.
Right.
So like this is actually one of those situations where they want the fight early.
Yes.
Because if they try not to do the fight, he's just gonna get a better breath attack later.
If the players succeed the check, then head down to the... What did we call this? The sleeping quarters?
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping quarters. The priest thaws while they are exploring those two optional rooms, and should designate these as conditionals. If the players succeed the check, then head down to the sleeping quarters. The priest thaws while they are exploring those two optional rooms, and will be in the meaningless statue room when the players decide to return home. There we go. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, because they know that some of them are thawing, they might even just go through the trouble of trying to break all the ice and like trying to kill them before they actually get free.
That's not a bad idea.
The ones who are still completely frozen, the ice could just be thick enough that they can't break it. unless they
Yeah.
roll like really high. But for the ones that are nearly thought out, it would work, like the priest. So I mean, they might just try to chop his head off beforehand, and if they think of it, I mean, he'll take
Good
some
for them.
good starting damage.
Yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah, good for them. He's definitely going to be awake and pissed off at that point, though. So I hope they rolled high on damage.
Yeah, because this is gonna be a priest that's fighting you like a friggin' boss by himself. He's gonna be jacked
Yeah.
for him to have any kind of chance. So this is gonna be funny.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Just fading in and out of reality there. Don't mind us.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you say that until the laws of physics stop working.
The laws of
Help. Help. Gravity,
going?
starring Sandra Bullock. Help.
Where are you? What? Who? Now I'm confused.
Oh yeah. You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't. Sleeping quarters.
Oh man, neither have I. I'll be back in a minute.
Optional.
As soon as I can find a rope or something to grab onto.
Here, let me just pull you in.
Okay, it's working. I'm floating back that way. I covered some distance. Okay.
I pulled you back in. Wait, did you really lose your tile?
I flew really far. Okay.
God damn it.
Yeah, apparently dragging over a different window kind of just makes me lose myself.
No, specifically VC face. It's set up that way by design. Okay, sleeping quarters optional. We have our first magically locked door that needs a scroll to open it. The door to this room is...
It doesn't look like a door. It was just a glass
door
pane, essentially.
to
They don't
this
see it
room
until they even
is
touch it. And all they would see is like
open,
the shimmer.
but covered
and
with a wall of force. They've met this earlier, and in order to open this door, the
Do you take
players
damage
need
for
to
touching a wall of force?
place... No, it's just a wall. It's literally out of bounds invisible wall.
Alright, so yeah, like if you don't have the rune, you bump into a wall, and then you see a rune appear in the air. And it's like a pane of glass. If you have the scroll, the rune will probably show up early.
Use the scroll they found on the priest. So in order to open this door, the players need to hold the scroll they found on the priest open and against the wall of force. Wall of force will immediately cease to exist. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably like you go near, like it just looks like a blank scroll, and then just like you take it near one of the walls, and the rune in the air starts to glow, and then
the
rune
rolled
on the
up
scroll
piece
appears and
of
starts to glow.
papyrus
It'd be like the map in Harry Potter.
Bears the same icon that showed up when the players touch any wall of force door.
So yeah, it'll be just like the map in Harry Potter. It's completely invisible until you need to use it.
No. It just always has the icon. That way they know that it's used for the wall of force.
I guess that's fair. There, if it was a,
They're not gonna use the
like
blank piece of paper if they don't know the blank piece of paper does something.
Well, no, I mean like it's a blank piece of paper when the dude's holding it, but then when they go near the force door, because they have the scroll the rune would appear and glow on the scroll, and it would be the same rune that just magically shows up in the air. But I guess there's a chance that they wouldn't take the scroll if it was blank.
Even if they do take the scroll, they're gonna stuff it into their backpack and then never look at it again. So we need to make the initial
You bump into a wall
idea.
of force and the rune glows bright in the sky. And
The sky.
The backpack starts glowing
No.
like it's a loot box
No.
in a video game. Just shimmering from the cracks.
Stupid description. No.
But you can see what I'm saying, can't you?
I can see exactly what you're saying, and
Then
I
it's
say
a perfect
no.
description.
Also, hey, Browmance, how's it going?
Promise.
Hi. The wall of force will immediately cease to exist.
Glad to see your hands are kind of working now.
Kinda.
I say as you break your wrist.
Right. So the wall of force will immediately cease to exist. Through the door is a large open sleeping area with hundreds? Probably not hundreds, huh?
We already went through with this. Like dozens. Like maybe like 50 or something like that.
Many dozens of bunk beds. Several dozen bunk beds. I have motion tracking. Yes and no. I have webcam-based facial. Don't be doing that, arms. Webcam-based facial tracking for my avatar, and then just this morning, actually, it got delivered. Yesterday morning it got delivered. I got a Leap Motion device which tracks hands, which is, it's so cool.
Although we still haven't fully gotten it to work.
I mean,
So
yeah, like I
it
bring up
bugs
my
out.
right hand. Now it works. Of course it does. Right hand. Left hand. I give up. You can't make it break when you want to. We are making a mega dungeon. Continuing work. It's on a... I guess for me, it's been a 9 or so year project. Long joined about, 7 months ago? Something like that.
Well, I mean,
we've been
this
streaming for
particular
about 2.
part of it, the mega dungeon, was something that started maybe year point 2 ago, something like that.
Yeah, something close to that.
But the lore has been building up for like almost a decade.
Yeah. I'm working on room descriptions right now. This will be the thing that I read when I'm running this campaign the first time they walk into the room. Just to give them and me a good starting point for what the room layout is like. is so cool. I got fingers. I got so many fingers. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh yeah, just keep rubbing it in. I don't have any fingies. I barely have my neck.
We'll get you an avatar soon, Long.
We both know that's not true.
I know, right?
It's way too hard to make a face tracking a lizard.
I mean, the face tracking part of the lizard is the easy part. It's actually modeling a lizard that's going to be hard.
Fair.
Like, I mean, I tried so hard for weeks, and I made a sphere. It didn't work very well.
Headset's dying. Un momento.
You two, joining the charging your headset while streaming crew. I see. Welcome. Alright, so through the door is a large sleeping area with several dozen bunk beds. There is a large canvas wall put up to the west, and looks very secure. There is a maybe not looks very secure. Large canvas wall put up to the west, and
so what is that brown door to the right?
the brown door to the right. So the brown exits need to fly. So I'm thinking this is going to be like a vertical door. Like they need to go straight up,
so it's just
in order to get to the next one. Yeah, something like that.
That works.
Did I create my own VTuber character? Yes. Well, kind of. I used a program called Vroid and redid all the textures and everything, new hair, exported that, put it into Blender, gave myself these ears, which are pretty cool, and then played around in Unity and gave myself a bow. That was a lot of fun. Still working on it, though. A large canvas wall has been erected on west side of this. Would you call it a bedroom? A bedroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it a bed's room. I mean,
Um,
that's like the bed. That is extremely strange. I just now put the layout of this room together, and for like the rest of their areas, there's just open hallway to where everyone sleeps, and the only thing that stops them is basically a magic glass pane. Like you can just imagine if the wall next to your like bedroom was just a giant glass wall. God, that's a
cool.
weird layout.
That'd be really cool, actually. I mean, it would make sense if we put the sleeping quarters farther back in this room, but I don't think burial grounds, needing to walk through the burial grounds, would make a lot of sense if you had to walk through them every time you wanted to go to bed.
Yeah. No, I agree, but God, that's a little disturbing.
Right.
Like, I'm okay with it, but it's just an odd realization.
A small cutout in the south edge of the canvas allows access behind the curtain. which means we need to add a curtain in here. So we'll just go beep, and what color? Something like that. Beep. I guess that's a terrible color for.
Yes.
Just do that. That'll work. Something like that. The condition of this cutout shows it is rarely used. Simple enough. Through the small cutout is a very dark. This whole place is very dark, so I mean, I guess I don't have to say that. Is should I do another ice joke and say another chilling sight? Probably not. That'd be repetitive.
You could say it's make a dead joke. Say it's like a morbid sight, or no.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be pretty ominous. Also, Edward's supposed to be here, so like
You're right. So a
walk in
large
and
canvas
just see
wall is
Ed.
gonna.
And then before they can even inspect,
Through the door is a
fight
large
happens.
open sleeping area with several dozen bunk beds. A large canvas wall has been erected on the west side of this bedroom. A small cutout in the south edge of the canvas allows access behind the curtain. As you enter the room, you see a large humanoid creature wearing a cloak several sizes too small.
so all we have left is one for a small creature. It just kind of fits around like his neck and
Duck
drapes on his
through the
shoulders.
small opening. The condition of this cutout shows it is rarely used. Through the small cutout is an ominous sight. Rose and Rose. No, I was just gonna say he disappeared. Unless you really actually want to have him meet Edward for the first time.
No, they would see him long enough to just see what he is. It's just this massive dude in a tiny cloak, and then he kind of just turns to mist and goes through a hole in the wall.
A behemoth of a man in a tiny cloak, staring at the north wall.
I think he would be Misty Step, so he just turns into.
Yeah, it would be Misty Step. As you watch,
pretty much.
I want to say explodes, but that sounds bloody.
Misty Step. Briefly surrounded by silvery mist, you teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space.
He is suddenly engulfed in.
Yeah, he like crouches down and looks in the hole in the wall, and then a silver mist envelops him, and then he just kind of fades away, and the mist is gone, and so is he.
He crouches down and is suddenly engulfed in white mist. Seconds later, the mist fades. and the man is nowhere to be seen.
Just one of the few times he's actually able to do stuff. That way they think he is a wizard.
Right.
And they just
You
don't
were away
understand.
for a second. No problem at all. Just working through. The mist fades. The man is nowhere to be seen.
He didn't hear if you made your own character. He missed that whole part.
Awesome. Yes, I did make my own character. Got the base model done in Vroid. Did all the hair, texture work, right? That in Vroid. Exported it into Blender. Got my ears going. Got the point going. That's not something you can do just in Vroid. Along with, I'll be adding come on, grab the other hand. Little jewel right here for the gauntlet that I'm supposed to have later on. But yeah, added a little detail in Blender and then added this bow back here in Unity, like probably a month after we started streaming. The physics for making it not phase through my head were very hard, but it works so well now. I like it. You quickly look around the rest of the room. It is entirely covered in water. Let's go. The ground is entirely covered in water, and walking forward reveals the soft dirt to... How do you describe undulate without actually moving? Because, like, it's a burial ground, so you're gonna have soft dirt that kind of goes like this as it goes, but if I just say undulate, they're gonna think like the black puddles from before that are actually moving on their own.
I'm sorry, my brain just ceased all non-critical functions. What did you just say? The ground is entirely covered in water. Walking itself reveals soft dirt to...
Yeah.
Exactly?
How many hours did it take? So the Vroid model took me probably a month to get done. I'm not very good at all with textures, as you can probably tell by the detail on my shirt, but the hair was fun, the cloak was fun, my little chest guard here was fairly easy. I did that near the end. Ears and the jewel that I'm going to add to my cloak probably total would take 2 hours at most. I don't quite know how to use Blender, but I have a lot of 3D modeling experience with basic shapes, point editing, that kind of thing. I can't actually model for crap though. And then the bow took a few days, but only because I couldn't get the physics to work right. It's so nice. The ground is entirely covered in water. Walking forward reveals the soft dirt to, like, come on, grab both hands. Like, undulate. Like the, it goes like that, but it doesn't.
So you
it's
mean
a burial
like
ground.
So you mean like the mattress in the corn maze?
No, that moves on its own. I mean, like, the ground just has it's got mounds in it, but the mounds don't move. It's just the terrain feature, right?
I guess. don't think I quite understand what you're saying. Are you just simply trying to describe the appearance of the fact that there's those little tiny mounds that show up in games where they have like the burial areas?
Yeah.
Where they didn't just flatten out the area, but instead there's just a tiny bump there?
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean,
think this
usually
is a
those
pretty
are
good way to
accompanied by
describe it, though.
headstones, so we could just have mounds with crosses just everywhere. They
Well,
could've
see,
did
it's
a
flooded
very-
though. So while they're walking through it, they're going to find that there's a lot of stacks of soft dirt in places, like littered all over the place. But other than that, it's just going to be blank. I wasn't thinking any headstones or anything either, just
If you don't want headstones, then you could. But if it's flooded and there's no identification, then how are they even gonna know it's a burial ground? I don't think that that's something you'll be able to convey.
I don't think it needs to be conveyed. Later on, when we remove the water, if they come back, and they will need to come back, the critical path goes through this area a second time. So they'll come back through here later, and we can have the area drained. And they'll realize it's a burial grounds of sort. So that would be cool. So green is the ability to breathe water. I think we can easily have a hole in the to the west is a
Ow.
small hole. That probably won't be seen the first time players go through here. They need water breathing to get through. Inspecting the north wall where the guy was disappeared reveals a small hole, small crack in the wall you can barely see through. Can't make anything out. Thank you for the follow, Bromance. Much appreciated. You can't make anything out. On the other side out. Cool. I think that works pretty well. That's our last room for Area 5. We've done room descriptions. We've done Muscle Wizard Ed. We've described him fairly well. And it's almost 2. I think we're pretty much wrapped up for the night. Anything else you want to do before we're done, Long?
Not really. I mean, we'll have to make Ed's character page, but I'm planning that for Monday.
Yeah, we'll probably do encounters and finishing up the detailed visuals on them.
Good.
detailed visuals on the day 5, area 5 things. Make them look a little bit more detailed and refined, like these first areas around here, over here, with all the little notes and stuff. But yeah, so we'll do character creation and room details on Monday. That'll be 10 p.m. Pacific for all of you guys that can catch it. So yeah, thanks for joining us tonight. I think we're pretty much done.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a nice night, guys. See ya.
Goodbye.